Now, yesterday in the executive roundtable, we had David Reger on stage, the CEO of Neura, and now it's time to get one of his colleagues on. This is a man who is very experienced. He's a renowned top manager with an impressive track record at Bosch. He has extensive experience in product development and operational leadership, and his hands-on mentality really make him a valuable addition to the team. It is, of course, COO and CTO of Neura, Jens Fabrowski. Welcome on stage, Jens. Hi, Jens. Thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you very much for having me. Well, yes, wow, what a privilege to be here and to give you some insights on what's going on in Neura and what we really believe in. Maybe a short words to my background. I have like 24 years in Bosch. I was doing kind of sensors and electronics all my time, and I have a nice smile in my face when I hear things like Industry 4.0 or AI or stuff like this, because that's where I spent my last years in. Last years in Bosch, I was responsible for semiconductors. And I mean, you might not know, but you're all carrying AI in your pockets. And of course, not just in the software of the smartphone, it's also in the sensor of the smartphone, because it's quite normal now that you have AI there. And then you can transport it into manufacturing. I had the privilege to ramp up the Dresden plant, 300 millimeter plant, the first plant after 10 years of investment pause. This plant was running 1.5 years before groundbreaking in a digital twin completely. This plant was released without any single sample ever shipped to a customer because of AI, because we could prove that the product that is just produced is better than the one before. Yeah? And it is run on a 10 people operations overnight and on the weekends, because it has no blue-collar workers. It's completely automated. And then I met David. And he had some other vision with AI, and that's what I want to share with you, yeah? Bringing AI on the next level. So, of course, I'm talking about AI, and I mean, we all love some progress in our life. I mean, it's better to have the right one than the left other one, but I mean, this is an evolution over time. Did we reinvent the wheel? Not really, but we do other stuff with it, and of course the right one makes more sense. But let's talk a bit more about AI and a bit more on where are we at the moment and what is really going on. And I mean, just some examples where we probably maybe you, me for sure, like to spend our spare time in painting, writing music, or me, it's rather on the right lower corner, doing some stuff on in engineering. But I mean, what is today in ChatGPT? I mean, we lose this game. This is so super, so unbelievable super. And just imagine, when I created 2017 this plant in Dresden, nobody was talking about ChatGPT. It was not existing at the time. But it was AI everywhere. So, nevertheless, always in the evening, I also have another task at home. That is this one. Yeah, you might know this. I have to bring out the garbage. Have you ever asked ChatGPT to bring out the garbage? What do you think? What happens? I'm a bit limited in time, so I don't ask it in original. I have a slide. Well, ChatGPT can't do physical stuff. You might have a funny difference between German and English. If you ask in German, you get below that, you get the explanation on how to separate in garbage. In English, it ends at that. Yeah, bit difference. But I mean, this is exactly the idea of Neura. Yeah, giving AI a body. Yeah, I mean, AI is everywhere, but it's not physical at the moment. So, giving it a body. Yeah, that's all for anyone. So the vision is, of course, we can do things that we all don't like to do, or where it supports us to do stuff. But I mean, is not working so super yet. I can probably watch for hours on these YouTube videos. Still some meters to go to get these humanoids really around us. And I mean, you see a lot of videos where things can do something. If you're in real life, well, it's difficult. Nevertheless, it will happen for sure. Yeah, it will happen for sure, and it will change our world. And I mean, we all know Elon Musk. He's always quite a bit early on what comes next and what is the next big thing. And I mean, he's even stating a vision that he says, well, Tesla will become a 25 trillion company, but that's just because of robots. And I mean, if you then compare it, it would be half of the value of the S&P 500 just by moving a company into a field that for sure technically for this company is reachable. Yeah. So, but visions. I mean, visions for us as Germans, it's always a bit difficult. Probably most of you know him. Don't have the English translation to it, but it says basically who has a vision should go to a doctor, should see a doctor. But we have to have visions, otherwise we will end up somewhere in a museum. The world around us changes, and well, we are a bit slow and a bit late. Let's jump into robotics. Some collaborative robotics. I mean, this is a typical cell. If you want to solve a task to move stuff from left to right, from unsorted to sorted, from unexpected unsorted to expected sorted, we install cameras. We might put some safety around, and of course we put a robot, pick it from one box, bring it into the other box. We all know that. Is it the smartest solution? Well, not really. It's not really scalable. We all know these challenges on vision. Lighting has to be somehow always the same. Is it cost efficient? Also not really. It needs skilled workers, at least for programming. It's not really safe in the environment. It's not flexible. It's complex. So it's not fully autonomous. So if you remove the box on the left-hand side and put something else there, same task, do it from unsorted to sorted, doesn't work. We need to put our hand to it. So it's not fully autonomous. What do we bring to the robot? What is, let's say, the secret of Neura? The secret of Neura is something to bring cognitive skills to a robot. Something we all know. We know it at least from our own childhood, but we know it also from our kids. We perceive the environment, we understand something, we start an intuitive and safe action, and we don't do this again, or we do it again depending on what we have learned. What is the best example? I mean, every kid probably has to touch the oven once to find out, damn, this is hot. This makes I don't do this again. Loop is closed. Yeah? If you do this to a robot, then you can do a lot of stuff. That is what we have in our portfolio. This is what we call our Myra. It's a first cognitive robot in the world. What did we bring to it? We brought sensors to it. We brought eyes, 3D camera. We brought ears, 360 degrees array, microphone array. And we brought feeling to it with force torque sensors and some other secrets that we do to it, so you can do stuff like a human being. I will show you in a video. And if you do this in a logic row, you get a portfolio of things that tend to happen in a physically, absolutely logic way on evolution, but the evolution is way faster than from this wooden wheel to the Porsche, yeah, because it's already happening in our portfolio. So on the left-hand side, you see our Lara. It's a typical collaborative robot, and then I put some sensors to it, and it becomes a cognitive robot. That's our Myra, having a camera, having the 360 degrees microphone array, having the force torque sensor, having some human detection to it. Yeah, so you find out now, wow, I can sense something and I can do something, and it has AI on the edge, not in the cloud, on the edge. Now I put some wheels below that. Yeah, and then you would say, wow, It's a shelf on wheels. What can I do with that? Yeah, of course, you can go where the task is. You can then do the stuff there, so the robot can already move to the task. Well, giving it a little bit of a different shape, it's still the same rolling platform. If you look to the arm, it is still something that looks like an industrial arm, and you put the sensors somehow in a body that looks a little bit more like a human being. You're coming closer to what could be a humanoid. Well, this is just above the waist, the humanoid. Below it's still the same, and then you finally end up at our For Anyone. That's our humanoid robot, which makes us the first manufacturer of a humanoid robot in the world, in Germany, sorry. Well, I was flipping pretty fast through our portfolio. We are a 5-year-old company and we are having a portfolio like this. Yeah? That's not typical for a startup. Yeah? Why is it? Because it's all platform-based. Yeah? If you would look into our drives, or secret, you would find out that somehow they look equal. Well, it's a toolbox of drives. If you look into the combinations in the platform, you would find out it's just a clever combination of stuff where you put intelligence, where you put wheels on the intelligence, and you can do things to it. And there's some other thing to it. I mean, guess what? You all have such a smartphone. The ones in this group that are a little bit older, they know that before that smartphone, there were other smartphones. They were not so bad, but they all had one big issue. There were no open technology platform. At the time, you could buy a Palm that was talking perfectly to your Microsoft computer. Unfortunately, you couldn't buy an app, or it was horrible expensive. So what was the magic to that? Technology platform with an app. That's basically the same that we have. We have a technology platform. Each and everything is basically working on the same software architecture, having a safety layer, having a layer in the middle that basically keeps us somehow communicating with the software that should do something, and on top we have like apps. And guess what? You can transfer that, of course, from one robot to the other and learning by itself. That brings us a bit more to humanity. Well, let's look into one short movie just to have a bit
we
of an overview.
We are here to create the future, a good future, where our technologies assist humans.
My great vision is making robots being an accessory for every human, in every home, in everyday's lives.
Are you ready?
Are you?
All the last big things, they were actually created by a need.
Our aim is to bring our technology together with their solutions to create even better solutions for mankind.
The goal of Neura is what a company brings to the world, the impact. Being more like a technology provider, platform provider for every company in the world one day. Just giving the next step to advance humanity, that's, I think, one of the biggest goals.
So now, I mean, you were obviously talking a lot about robots. Let me talk a little bit about humanoids and why does it work and why will it work easy and fast. Well, we talk about our For Anyone. Yeah? For Anyone is our platform on humanoid robots. Of course, it looks like this. This is basically the one that we are having at the current status in manufacturing. Yeah, and it can do things, and that's the idea. It can do things that relieves you from timely tasks to give you a bit more time to do other stuff. But now let's do the transfer. Yeah? Let's do the transfer from why do we learn with each and every pick, each and every task that we do with an industrial robot, why do we learn into a humanoid? Simple task, empty the bin. That's basically the command that Myra gets. It's not a program that we program. We have a wizard, yeah, where we show where the bin is. We have a camera, the robot looks to it. It observes the scene, it checks on it, and the task is empty the bin. Yeah? And then it does, by AI, checking on what object should I grab, which is the best one, so better not the one that is very low. I take one from the top, and I take it into one of the bins that we basically position there to do it. Yeah? So empty the bin, no program. Yeah? That's what you get. Yeah? It's running a little bit faster than normal. So it looks, it picks, it looks, it picks. Yeah? Okay? Just imagine. Next one. I don't know whether we have sound. No, we don't. So she talks to Myra and says, I have finished. Yeah? And behind the command I have finished is rebuild it again. So what you see is Myra does some movements, checks on objects that are around, and then picks or wander the right color to the right spot, puts it in place, and puts it on top. Yeah? So if you would measure it, it's on the tens exact, because it's not just looking, it's measuring, it's information you get for free when you look to something, you can use it. Now let's look into the humanoid. Remember, it's the same software platform. It's the same idea behind. Let's look into the humanoid. What can the humanoid do?
Can you grab the object like this?
I understand. I grab the object as you have shown.
Thank you. For anyone, can you grab the object like this?
So what do you see? It needs to have it somewhere in front of the camera. It needs to visualize it. Program comes by itself. And the other thing you can see, it's exactly the same doing than what we did with these gray pipes, but it's not moving that smooth. Yeah, why? I mean, it's a simple question on how good are we already in controlling this 29 joints that we have somewhere in this for anyone. And this is still a huge task and still giving us some headaches, so it's not too perfect. The second thing you have observed, of course, is it was not working, not walking, so it's above the waist. We transferred the movements of the industrial arm with the app of grab something and look how to grab it. We transferred it into the humanoid hand, yeah, to do this. Again, the same idea. You remember 3 colored pieces?
In front of me, I see 2 blue blocks and 1 red block on a table.
What do you see now?
I see 1 blue block on top of a red and a blue block.
Can you rebuild it?
Yes, sure.
So again, same task than before. Yeah, rebuild what you have seen. Again, the little trick you have seen, we had to move the one object to the second hand. So it's not having full control on what do I do with which hand. For anyone, it's neither right-handed nor left-handed, which we normally are. So we have a preference. A humanoid robot does not. Task to be solved. So again, the look on the portfolio, I mean, that's how we transfer things from A to B. That's why we're absolutely sure humanoids will happen around us and they will happen faster than what we really think. And you can derive it from a portfolio coming from a collaborative to a cognitive cobot combined with a platform that moves into a world that really supports us. So much from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I surprised you by being 15 seconds faster.
Perfect, bang on time. So, that was very fascinating. I did enjoy that video of the bots just falling over as if they were drunk. Do we have any questions at all for Jens? Yes, Wolfgang.
Yeah, one question about the humanoid robot. So is there already a date for launching or an idea what the pricing would be for such a humanoid robot for the household?
Let's talk about two versions. Yeah, the one is the smaller one. We call it MIPA, My Intelligent Personal Assistant. The one on wheels that had 1 or 2 arms. First, I start with the price point. The idea, of course, is to bring it at the point where your wife tells you, "Don't buy the new e-bike, buy me a MIPA." Yeah, so it must be somewhere in the price of something that we have somewhere in our household and would want to spend the money on. We will have our launch for that thing in the next year. Yeah. So if you go a bit bigger and you talk about the for anyone, I would be a bit shy on saying the price point. Yeah. Launch somewhere end of next year, beginning of 26.
And price point?
It was worth a try. Do we have any other questions in the room? Yes.
Hi. Do you see that humanoid robot can be widely used for the older people healthcare, and will that be included in the health insurance system somehow, something like that?
We have several use cases that are pretty obvious that we are asked for. I mean, first of all, it's the industry that's coming to us, being short on labor, and industry wants to replace things that are done by humans today, and you need to have the human environment. Understood. Yeah. Second thing is, and I would not go on your question in one step, I would do it in 2 steps. Second thing is hospitals that ask us to do support work. I'm not talking about the nurse that is educated on giving you medicine or stuff like this, but we are asked to do support work to relieve time from the nurse, yeah, to do stuff like this. The third thing is on elderly care, obviously, especially the last months before you go into care are super interesting, because at that point you probably lose one ability. Yeah, you might get a little bit disoriented, you might not be able to pick something up, you might have some communication issues, or you might need somebody to walk, and you could stay longer at home if you have some support. So that's one of the points where we look at. And of course, then everything that has to do something with our household, yeah, where of course we have partners that want to automate a whole kitchen. Yeah? So it goes in different sections.
Okay. One more short question we could squeeze in. Yep. Final one here at the front. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. You give very soon launch date. How do you plan to deal with safety, especially for very unstable, heavy objects moving around, kids and other important things?
Yep. I mean, there are several things we bring in. First of all, we bring all the stuff in that you know from a collaborative robot, so classical robot safety. But we also have a product in the portfolio which is a safe human detection sensor. So if somebody comes too close, you might freeze, yeah, stop, go away, whatever the right decision is at that point. So you need to bring sensors in as we have it as a human being, yeah, and make that ready to get that launched.
Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, thank you very much again, Jens. It's been a pleasure having you on stage. Round of applause. Thank you so much, CEO, CTO. Thank you.